Probably you guys have had. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to set up our screen for being a Fantasy Grounds player. And as a player, what I like to do is I like to have my screen at 100%. Sometimes when I'm DMing or doing something else, I scale it to a different size, like 80. But as a player, it's very nice to have your screen at 100% because there's no reason not to. So if you're playing just with one screen, I will show you how to set this up so that you have plenty of room for everything on your screen. Down here in the chat box, you can type /scale UI space 100, and that will resize the screen. And again, that's /scale UI space 100. It'll resize it. Normally, at least on Windows, you have to restore window and then re-maximize the screen. And we have some characters here: Barb, Bonnie, Bonita, and Betty. Let's choose Bonita. So there's my character up there. When I double click it, there's my character sheet. Now, I like to minimize my character sheet width as much as I can by bringing it over like that. And then where is my dice tower? Let me go over to the DM and turn on dice tower, because what the hell's the story? There should be a dice tower there. Dice tower on. Here we go. Okay, so let me go back. There's the dice tower. Okay, so I like to bring my character sheet over and put it right above the dice tower there. And now I have my character sheet there, and I will open the combat tracker, and I will also minimize that width-wise as much as I can, and I will bring that up to the top. And this way I have my character sheet and the combat tracker. I can just switch back and forth, and I can get to those as I need them during the game. Now, let me have the DM throw out a map, and then I will show you how to put your map on the screen so that you constantly don't have to search around and worry about where you're looking and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of people, I get asked this a million times, like how do you set up your screen so it isn't crazy? So that's what I'm going to show you. And I will throw this map out. Okay. So now that we have our map, I'm going to resize this. And what I like to do as a player is, for those of you that don't know, you can hold down the control key, and anywhere inside the map you can left click and drag, and when you do that you can resize the map to anything you want. So what I like to do is put it right over here, just to the right of the chat window and on the top, and then I usually resize it to where it fits nicely between everything that I have. So I have my chat window here, I've got my map here, and I've got my character sheet and the combat tracker. And as a player, that's your bread and butter. That's all you're going to ever need, really, on your screen. If the DM shares a picture with you, it'll pop up, and I can do that and show you what you get. Let's see. Let me just get a picture here. I'll share out a picture like this. So that comes across to the player, and when you see the picture, you can size it, you can resize it. And guys, if you want to resize stuff and still see the whole thing, make it smaller, you can do that trick where you control and then left click and drag around, and it'll let you resize it. That way, if the DM shares a picture, sometimes players want to look at it, sometimes they want to keep it and see it for a while. But hey, it's covering up my whole screen, it's covering up all my stuff, so I got to move it. So I'm going to resize this down to about like this, and I'm going to right click, I'm going to choose resize, and I'm going to choose adjust horizontally. And what that does is that gives you the entire picture but in a smaller size like this. And I'm going to be like, okay, great, let me, I'll just move that right over here like this. You know what, I'm going to make it even a little bit smaller. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it that big, and I'm going to adjust that vertically. There we go. And again, how you adjust those is you right click, choose resize, and you can adjust either horizontally, vertically, or you can go back to the original size if that's what you want to do. So that's kind of how you would deal with a picture the DM sent across. Anything else, any other windows that the DM sent across, he or she, would be dealt with in that way. And that way you can just close whatever you're dealing with. If the DM sends you if the DM sends you a table to roll on, you can roll on it and then get rid of it. If it's a story entry that he's only sharing with you and not other players, you can read it, you can minimize it, and you can hotkey stuff. Another thing too as a player that I really like is I will take my initiative. I will left click and hold my initiative, and I will drag it right down here to my first hotkey position. That way, if I'm over here on my skills list rolling stuff, or I'm looking at my weapons and my spells, this character has blank stuff. But if I'm looking at all that stuff and horsing around, and the DM goes roll initiative, I can just okay, and I go right over there and I just click it and roll it. So that's cool. The other thing you can do is you can bring any cantrips or spells that you find yourself using over and over and over. You can bring the actions to those. You can just drag them down and hotkey them all down here. And by holding any combination of Shift, Control, and Alt, and any various combinations of that, or not at all, you have 96 different hotkeys that you can use down here. So stuff that you find that you're doing, like for example, maybe a perception check, that gets called for quite often. So maybe you want to take perception, grab that perception check, left click, hold, drag it, and put it down here. That way, when I roll perception here, I have to double click. Ooh, I got a 20, but down here I only have to single click and it'll roll it again. So that's pretty much how I set up my screen, guys, for being a player with Fantasy Grounds for Dungeons and Dragons. And I think it works really well, and especially if you're streaming. But even if you're not streaming and you just, I have more players say to me, wait a minute, I've got so many windows open, I got to figure it out, I got to find stuff. And so if you have it set up this way, then you should be fine. So hopefully that helps, guys. And I'm going to especially point any of my players to come and watch this video so that they don't get overwhelmed by all their windows and everything that's happening while we're playing the game. I think I covered it all. Party sheet, if you want to have it as a player, you can open it up and sort of put it there and then just open and close it by clicking the party sheet over and over and over, open, close, open, close. That way, when you need it, you can open it, go through it, look at it, go to the inventory, do whatever you have to do, and then just close it again. Most of this other stuff, the effects, probably as a player, you won't use effects very much. Options you can open, again, you can only change about 4 of those. And the modifiers, again, all this stuff that you would open like this is probably not going to be stuff you're going to leave open, like these 4 things. It's probably just going to be a open up real quick, use it, and then close it again. So don't have to really worry about that. If you have to make some notes, you can open the notes tab, do it, get what you need done, close it back up again. So that should be it. I hope that helps everybody, and good gaming, guys.